When I was in art school, briefly for 2 years, one of my most pressing concerns was finding my individual voice. Somehow others were able to do it with ease. But to me, it didn't really make sense. Where was the style supposed to come from? And how did one decide what it should be? How did one choose a particular way of making over all the other possible options available to you? For Pallav, these questions are redundant. His work is so deeply grounded in his location and the experience of growing up in a place, of living there, that working any other way feels inconceivable. His practice, he says, is just a byproduct of a continued engagement with the place, with its people, and with their collective imagination. Today's guest for this episode of the Documenting Culture podcast is Pallav Saikia. Pallav is a visual artist and educator who currently works as an assistant professor in the Department of Fine Arts and Music at Rajiv Gandhi University in Arunachal Pradesh. He was trained in painting at the SN School of Arts and Communication, University of Hyderabad, and completed his BFA from the Government College of Art and Crafts in Guwahati, Assam. He is also the co founder of No School and of the Ongo Art Collective, an Assam based art collective which works across a wide range of practices and methods, drawing from life in the Northeast. Pallav grew up in a village in Assam's Rahmoria Mauza against a backdrop of rapid change, loss, and out migration. Everything he does today seems like an attempt at grappling with this reality. Okay. Hi, Pallav. So great to have you here.
Okay.
Excited to speak to you about your work and your practice. Um, so, when I see your work, it's very much rooted in your village and the place you grew up in. So,
Mhm.
could you talk a little bit about where you grew up and what the atmosphere was like, what your sort of artistic and cultural influences were like at the time?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for having me. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm from Gorpura village. Yeah. Like Gorpura village is like under Rahmoria Mauza, like in Dibrugarh district, situated on the bank of river Brahmaputra. And yeah, my area, like river has already consumed more than 30 villages. Even the it also consume river also consume my my area, so we shift to Sabua. So when I was going growing in Romoria, like uh yeah, I saw the river erosion, and also there was also a protest happening by that time. Like people of Romoria, they are asking government for permanent solution. They wanted to build embankment to prevent the erosion. So there was a huge protest going on when I was young. So I was experiencing all these activities in my village.
And this protest was like a long drawn sort of protest, or
Yeah, it
how?
was a long protest. Okay, so the people, and there is a again. I would like to say something about there is no there is a oil site, crude oil site in my village, which is situated in
Okay.
Kagorizan, and the people of my village, they stop Oil India Limited to take away our no oil. And it was a protest, and people are asking, people are demanding, you can keep our oil from our from Rohmoria, but the government have to give a permanent solution. It was people are doing it for pressurizing the government.
Permanent solution, as in?
uh, uh, it's not exactly permanent solution. People were demanding embankment
Okay.
to prevent the erosion, river erosion.
So what was the river erosion like? Like what was it doing? What was the
Oh
uh
yeah, it was no started after earthquake in 1950s. So there was a earthquake in 1950s in Assam. So according to the no experts, the after the earthquake, the whole topography has changed. Yeah. So and then the flood and erosion started in our area. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's all because of the earthquake in 1950. And my father also share a lot of stories about his childhood. And when this earthquake, the he was, I think my father always share his experience. He was very young, like he still remember the day, when the earthquake happened. And then after the earthquake there was a flood, in the village. So the people are suffering a lot. And then erosion started. And this river erosion flood, like this is like very much part of, like the river situation, no riverine like situation. Yeah. Yeah.
What are some stories that your father recalls from when he was young and when he saw the river erosion and the flooding, the earthquake and the flooding kind of happen?
No, when he was young, there was no erosion. And yeah, my father always always talk about when they are young, the Brahmaputra river was far away. It took 2 3 hours to reach.
Hmm.
It was not near to here. No, now it's near. We
Hmm.
can just go. Within 2 minutes. It's just next to my my home. But when they are growing up, the river Brahmaputra was not. It was far away.
Hmm.
It take 3 4 hours, yeah, to reach the river. And there is one more river, like after there is one more river which is called Dibru River. And then after crossing Dibru River, there is Brahmaputra River. And
Hmm.
then what happened? The Dibru Brahmaputra River is consume, no, the land, and it merges the Dibru River. And now there is no existence of Dibru River in our area.
Hmm.
So there are a lot of changes happen, in our place, in our area.
And what
So
about since when you were growing up? Like, what kind of changes have you seen in your
yeah,
area?
I even I this is something, what is something very magical. Okay, so when I go to Rahmoria, I can make out, oh, there was a village in this area. So, oh, we used to have a what is it, a bamboo forest here. So now nothing is there.
Hmm.
So I also yeah, when I was growing, like it was in the peak. The erosion was in the peak in our area.
By erosion, what do you mean exactly? Like, it was like the farmlands were being taken away, or
Yeah,
what
yeah,
exactly
all
was
no
happening?
farmland, no the houses, no the infrastructure, no everything, no everything.
Everything was swept away.
Yeah, 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 everything.
And now the river is there, like the river is there in the place of the villages that used to be
Yeah,
there, or
river is there, but the river has all no that already consumed more than 30 villages
mm.
in Romoria Moza. I'm talking about Romoria Moza. Okay, so
Yeah,
river has already consumed more than 30 villages. Yeah. So it's a
yeah,
huge area, and there is a huge migration, of people. Yeah,
yeah. I think as someone who grew up in a city and has never lived outside cities, it's
yeah,
very
yeah.
hard for us to imagine
Mm-hmm.
uh, this kind of environmental impact.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, you were talking about the village you grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like when you were growing up, apart from the erosion? Like, what were your growing up years like? What were some sort of cultural influences at that time?
Yeah. Uh, yeah. My like village was very rich culturally, very rich, and there is also like theater, that's and a lot of activities even in the school, cultural activities in the school. We also participated. in drawing competition.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. A lot
Yeah.
of, yeah,
That is
in
fixture
different,
of every childhood, I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
Drawing
different
competition.
competitions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, there was a theater like in my no area, so which is called Rajani Theater. There was a theater production in our
Okay.
area, and my father used to act there. Yeah, he was also in acting,
Hmm.
and there is no owner, no, of the theater. All the people of Rahmoria, they are the owner.
Hmm.
They do everything, no, like the guy who make the pendel, he he's the actor, no, the guy who make the pendel, he's the musician.
Hmm.
No, the carpenter, no, is the no carpenter, no, one guy is, or one someone is doing something, like everybody do all these activities, part of all these activities.
Hmm.
So it was like that. There is no owner, like it's more cooperative, no,
Hmm.
like the system. And I have been like growing up, no, watching play, no, in my village. And I also participated in no theater workshop, no, like during summer vacation. Yeah. So according to my father, like no, when they are in the school, so there was a theater play competition in our school. So my father also get prize. So he also acted. One of his friend who wrote the play and directed the play, and he was no acting in that play, and they get the prize. So
Hmm.
there was a theater competition in our school, no, when my father was growing, studying. So it was
Okay.
very much part of it. One day I was
Hmm.
discussing with my father about this theater, no practices. How did it start? Yeah, he was talking about all this. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it definitely it impacted me and my my thinking process. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. And what about visual arts? Since you decided to, you went into painting later on. So what
Yeah.
was that
So as
journey?
I mentioned, my father invited one art teacher, like his name is Pavitra Dora, like sir, who already passed away. Uh, and my father invited him for Sunday class in our at home. And my friends from neighborhood, they used to come to our place, yeah, for art class.
Hmm.
So our home became a art school. Yeah, so I still remember it was something very memorable, no? Yeah,
Hmm.
when I think about it, and it's something very interesting.
Hmm.
And my father also brought blackboard and all for the art class. So there were around like 20, 15 to 20, student came to our home for the art class. And this Pobito Dwara sir, he used to come, yeah, to teach us.
And when did you decide to join art college? Did you always know that you
Oh
wanted to become
yeah,
an
like
artist?
when I was very young, when I was studying in class 5 6, I decided to go to no art college. And I already have some idea, because because of my father, that there is a art school. And I decided early on.
Hmm.
After doing my class 10, I will join art college.
Hmm.
Yeah, I decided early on. In that way, I was very privileged. Most of my friend, they did not know about art college. Yeah, in my case, yeah, I get to know very early.
Were the other like people in the village also like your father? Like were they also sort of keen on this arts and culture and
Yeah, yeah, all of
pushing their
them.
children?
No,
Hmm.
all of them. Like, yeah, people are very cultured in my village. Like, if there is some cultural, no, festival or something, all the people come, no, gather,
Hmm.
no.
Hmm.
such environment are still there in Romoria. Like
Hmm.
people are very cultured. So I'm very I feel very happy that I born in Romoria. I come from Romoria. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's that is also one reason I'm very much into like my place. I go there. I start working there. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Can you talk a little bit about your art college years and what it was like once you went there?
Yeah, like I was dreaming to join art college since my
Yeah.
school days.
Me
Yeah.
too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I joined art college in 2005. Yeah, after completing my no, metric class 10th.
Mm. And this was in Guwahati, right?
Yeah, this was in Guwahati.
So actually, what was that shift like for you to go from Ramoria to Guwahati to go to a city life? Like how did that feel?
I was thinking like how I will able to
Adjust.
survive there. No,
Hmm.
since I'm from village, I don't know much about it. No, and the my student uh, the existing students of art college, they are already so good art. They are already artists. How I will how I will study there. I was very like mm, like confused and yeah, and I came to Guwahati for the first time.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I joined in 2005, and then I did not know what to do. I was all confused. Yeah, so and I saw some friends, no, when I was in class first year. So I saw some friends like who do outdoor, no, who always in practice. Yeah, and then after when I reached second year, then I also no decided to like go with them for outdoor.
Hmm.
One more year was gone. Like I did not know what to do. No, then when I reached second year, then I also started working with them. Yeah, I also like their company. No, we used to do a lot of outdoor studies together. So it was outside of our syllabus.
Hmm.
No, it was
Hmm.
not part of the syllabus. Like what I was talking about. No, going out and doing all the studies, no outdoor studies. It was out of the syllabus, and we did not even submit all this work.
Yeah.
So it was very that is a very important like phase of our life. Yeah, doing outdoor studies together. No, going out, reaching out to places. No, then the people start calling us watercolor group. Yeah. Then there are some people they start calling us outdoor group. Yeah.
And what were they teaching you in the classroom? Like what kind of stuff were they
Yeah, it
teaching?
was more, it was like, similar to other art, institute,
Hmm.
still life, all this academic, this, that activities. So I was not so much into all this. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it was very much there, like, no, but yeah, I submitted my, what, no, internal and all, but I was not so much. I used to do like, no, uh, go out and work. I was more into that, practice. And the since our the syllabus is also very colonial. Yeah, I would say that it's very colonial, and and I also say it's something very dislocated. Yeah. So for example, I'm coming from a background. No, I'm coming from a village. I'm come from a rural setting. Okay, and I our the syllabus was not no uh, uh, it was not showing a way how I will practice what no.
Hmm.
So when I look back, I think that way. Yeah, but I was practicing. I met a group of friends in art college. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's why I feel very fortunate that I studied in Guwahati Art College. I met
Hmm.
a group of friends. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Like from what you're saying, it feels like the
Yeah.
art college, like it was not cognizant of the fact that of
Mm.
where you came from, or like it didn't.
Mm.
It all that doesn't matter. It like
Yeah, yeah,
completely,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
goes away, like melts away.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
where
yeah.
you come
So
from.
when I was studying, like no, there is no there are teachers. They or there it was very very common. If I do a painting, then no, we discuss whether this is a painting or illustration. No, whether this is drawing or illustration. Like we used to do all this conversation, and when I think now, these are all meaningless.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
meaningless.
So it's all about no. What we are doing, no,
Hmm.
what we are doing, what our practice is coming from where, no,
Hmm.
the places, no,
Hmm.
is all about that. It's not about no whether this is a painting or illustration, whether this
Yeah.
is no art or non-art,
Yeah.
whether this is a craft or no art. We
Yeah.
are like into such trap when we are studying in like Guwahati Art College. And
Hmm.
I still feel that this kind of conversation are still going on. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is you. I think you pointed to something that is
Mm,
very like very common in these
mhm,
like a pain point for a lot of people in these art
mm,
colleges.
mm,
Um, but you are actually two things I wanted to ask. One is that at that time, like I'm sure you must have felt kind of I don't know, like a little bit frustrated, confused. I think,
mm, mhm,
and frustrated. But was there like, did you have any artists or any people or any kind of guiding light that was helping you
mhm.
a little bit out of that, like outside of that watercolor group also?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there. I there is one person like his name is Noskor. We call him Noskorda. So he used to sell books. He is a book. He used to sell books in Guwahati. No, so he used to sell art books, and we start buying books from him in installment,
Hmm.
and then we start reading together. This group which I was talking mention about, so we used to start reading together, no, and his books really help us. We brought so many books, no, about art history, no, contemporary art practice, no. There is one book I brought, Making of Contemporary Art, no, Concise History of Modern Art by Howard Reed, no, and we start reading all these books, and then yeah, there are so many books we brought from him in installment. Yeah, so it really helped us. And but yeah, this guy, Noskorda, we still have connection. Like now he's in Kolkata,
Okay, where
and
in
he's
Kolkata?
yeah, so he's no more part of like no this no book, no,
Okay, okay,
but no, he was a agent, no, who
okay.
come to Guwahati. Now he's not. He already changed his profession, but we still have a very good connection with him, and he play a very important role when it come to uh, us. Yeah, he exposed to us like no to art world, no, through books. Yeah.
Hmm. That is really beautiful, by
Mm-hmm.
the way. uh, and now you are a teacher yourself, right? So
Yes, yes.
how do you? I mean, how do you navigate this space? Like how do you? What do you do for your students to not have that same experience? And to make their art college experience a little different from what it was for you.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I I always want to know the background, no, the student are coming from which background they are coming from. I want to understand their location, their practices, no, various urgencies, material practices, no, and also the psyche of the no the place, the psyche of the student, and accordingly, I want to have discussion with them. and rather than like no imposing something, oh you have to do this, no you have to follow
Mm.
this, no. Yeah. And the place I'm working, it's in Arunachal Pradesh, and it's a very new institute. It was established. Our department was established in 2017.
Okay.
So it's a new
Which
department.
university is it?
It's yeah, Rajiv Gandhi University.
Okay.
It's a very new department. So all our students from Arunachal, like 95% are from Arunachal. So and they have uh, they very strong like background, cultural historical background, and I also see a lot of possibility like no, yeah, in terms of the practice, no. Yeah. And one thing like I just want to share like no, the student from like Arunachal, they everyone can make something. They have a
Mm.
strong muscle memory. Okay. So if you tell them to make something with bamboo or some no
Mm.
material, no, first they would say, "Oh, I don't know. I did not even know. I did not even make anything before." But once they start making, they make something. No, which is
Mm.
very no. What I how I put like practice. And
Like a
yeah,
skill that
yeah,
they.
we also have to like no look at it philosophically. Yeah,
Mm.
like this skill. Yeah, when you talk, talk about like skill. Yeah, we have to also look at philosophically. No, no about the practices. No, about the craft. Yeah,
Mm.
so which is very important. Like in Ornacell, and the places is also changing. No, that
Mm.
there are a lot of like what is called uh, changing happening, no? Yeah,
Mm.
in Arunachal, and this is a very crucial time, what I feel. Because a lot of changing are there, a lot of constructions, no, a lot of changing are happening in Arunachal. Yeah, so this is a very crucial time for the student, and this is a very new institute, no, and we don't have that legacy, no. Yeah, and the student also, and also student have very strong background. Yeah,
Mm.
and they are from different part of like no Arunachal, no,
Mm.
with like different history, different culture, no. Yeah, I'm not romanticizing it. Yeah, like and yeah, and one more thing, like yeah, like I don't consider myself as a teacher. Yeah, I share a lot of things with them. I learn from them. No, I don't consider myself as a teacher. Yeah, and I don't believe in that hierarchy. No, student. When I call myself teacher and someone call student, I create a hierarchy there.
Mm.
You have to listen to me. No, oh, you are a student. No, it's not about like when it come to art. What? No, there is nothing to teach. Okay, what I will teach? No, and I don't know much about them. No, their background, their culture. No, and art should grow from that. No, their urgencies. Okay, and what I do, I try to understand their background, their various urgencies they have. No, they have various material culture practices they have. No, and then I just want to like no, oh you can also no see this way. No, you can also I share things with them. Yeah,
Mm.
it's all about sharing. I am also learning from them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then you did your masters and sort of went back to your village, right? So yeah, what was that like to go back after going to these art colleges, doing your masters? How did it feel for you? Was the course, did it feel different from your Guwahati Art College experience?
Yeah, it was different. No, I really enjoy art history classes there. Yeah, and dissertation. Yeah, I really I was I like the dissertation. No, the sessions. Yeah,
What was your dissertation on?
It's on yeah, it's about my no, my practice. Yeah, like
Okay.
I started writing from no, from my childhood. What I was doing in the village. No, start from my
Hmm.
childhood. And when I was writing my dissertation, I was looking for some photographs, no, from Rahmoria,
Hmm.
photographs of Rahmoria, and I did not find any photographs. I was also looking for photographs of theater, and we don't have photographs of no theater,
Hmm.
which I mentioned. No, I found few photographs, yeah, but yeah, it's not. I did not find much. Yeah. Yeah, that is that is also one reason. I do a lot of documentation. Yeah, a lot of I go and uh, uh that see the various changes in my village. Yeah, I follow people from my village.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to ask, sort of going back to when you came back um, after doing your masters, like, did you feel a kind of pressure to produce a lot of work and to make a name for yourself? And did you have to fight that pressure and make your way to this way of practicing work, or was that pressure never there for you in your head?
No, it was not there. Yeah, and then since I'm no I was already part of a collective. We already
Hmm.
form a collective. So I was happily came back. Yeah,
Hmm.
like there is, and I did not have such pressure. Like I did not want, I don't want to be famous, or I don't
Hmm.
want to be a you know like you know the famous art practitioner. I don't have such pressure.
But how did you
Yeah.
reject? It's so difficult to sort of stay away from that. Everyone sort
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
becomes
And
falls for
yeah,
that at some point.
yeah, that is also one reason. Like my practice is very slow. Yeah,
Hmm.
like I don't have to produce something quickly. No, yeah. So yeah, when that is also one reason I did not go to anywhere. No,
Hmm.
after doing my masters, I just come back to home. I come back home.
Hmm. And what about like financial pressures? Did you ever feel like you would have to make money off of your work, like that kind of thing?
No, one important the thing no is working at home. You don't need a lot of money.
Hmm.
Yeah, you don't need lot of money. You just need little bit of resource, and no, you can we can work with that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Hmm. Yeah. Uh, yeah, talk like can you talk a little bit about how it was like after you came back from the college, and did you feel like there was something driving you now a little bit more to do something like creatively, or like were there new questions that had come up for
mm,
you
yeah,
that you
yeah.
wanted to pursue after your masters?
Yeah, when I was studying in Hyderabad, I was very clear about it. After doing my masters, I have to come back to home.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did not want to go anywhere. Like I did not have the dream that one I will go to Baroda or I will go to Delhi. Like
Hmm.
I did not wanted to do that. I brought one camera, yeah, and I came to my I came home, yeah, and I start going to my village again and again, no, yeah.
Yeah, talk about your trips a little bit to the village. What were you trying to do? What were you uh yeah, what were the questions, and what were you trying to do when you, or how did
Mm.
it feel to go back to the village and sort of
Yeah.
see it?
So I start taking interview, a lot of interview, yeah. So I
Who did
took,
you interview?
yeah, so many people. Okay, I I interviewed more than 100 people, and yeah, I start taking interview, no, of people of people from different age group, and there is, yeah, I just want to give some example. There is one, uh, um, no. uncle, like he's my father's friend. No, his name is Khogen Soikia. No, so he's my father's friend. So he used to I call him Khogen Taido. Taido is my father's friend. Like that's how we call. Okay, in our
Mm.
place. So I call him Khogen Taido, and I went to Khogen Taido, and I took an interview, and so he used to, like, he told me that I spent most of my life in the river. No, 60 years of life in the river. No, and because he used to go to the other side of the river to bring vegetables and all. No, and when he go to that other side of the river, there are some families stay there. No, and he take no kerosene, no, which is not available in
Mm.
that area. He is the only person who carry all this for them, and while coming back he bring you know this vegetable, chicken, potatoes,
Mm.
no, and he always go alone. No, he used to have a small boat, and he go alone. Even in the monsoon, he go alone, and he know about the river a lot. Okay, he spent 60 years of his life in the river. So I think that was my second interview. Yeah. So I was staying in his place, and I was taking a long interview.
Mm.
Yeah, it was more like a conversation. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, there is one uncle. His name is Biso Guhai. Like he was telling me a story of a, like, they made one tiger in the jungle. So he was talking about a tiger. There, no, they the tiger came to their camp, near to the camp, and the tiger slept up there. No, slept up for long, and they are all quiet. No,
Oh my God.
and then tiger also, like, no, that the tiger then tiger left. No, tiger was snoring, it seems. He was talking, he was telling me all that. Yeah, and which is something very magical. No, yeah, and the way he was telling the story, yeah, it's also very interesting, with lot of drama. No, yeah, yeah, and the language he, the word he used, the way he expressed, is something very interesting, I found.
Mm.
Yeah. And I I also start clicking photographs, taking videos, no, and my process of practice is very slow. I go there, I have conversation with the people. No, I go there and sit there, in the riverside. I observe things. I observe the seasonal changes. You know, it's like that. It's something very slow,
Mm.
and you can say, no, it is opposite of the today's time, which is so fast,
Mm.
and my practice is opposite to it. And yeah, and I still I'm doing it. Still I'm going. I Whenever I come home, I go to Rahmoria, and yeah, I observe people. I observe, the landscape. Yeah, it's something like that. And when I think about my practice, yeah, it's not only about no documentation. I'm not only documenting, various activities, various cultural practices. Rather, it is no observing various possibilities, no, through which this knowledge system, this disappearing knowledge system. Yeah, knowledge system is also
Mm.
disappearing in my village. Okay,
Mm.
through which this knowledge of, disappearing knowledge system can be, retranslated. Okay, can be reactivated. No, and I also critically engaging with it.
Mm.
Okay, like this is my no, the practice. Okay,
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
uh, I and it and I believe that no, it can give a alternative way of thinking, alternative way of practicing no art.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing it.
What are some of these? What are some of these knowledge
So many
systems
things.
that
Okay,
are
so many
disappearing
things.
that you think?
For example, when I was growing, there was a strong sense of community. Now, slowly, slowly, it's disappearing.
Hmm.
Okay, it still exists, but slowly, slowly disappearing with time. No, so many things like people who used to sing bihu songs. No, so now there are
Hmm.
very less people like who can sing. No, songs. No, bihu songs. No, like which was popular in the no in the village, and that's why
Hmm.
I follow one person. His name is Sonal Guhai. He's a bihu singer, and he's a living you can call him a living archive, no, of bihu songs. So I
Hmm.
also take photographs, of Sonal Guhai. So yeah, and
Bihu songs you just sing on Bihu, or it's like beyond the festival also it's sung.
no, Bihu songs. It's no. It's very much connected to the the landscape. Okay, you can see a lot of element of from river. No, the landscape of my area.
Hmm.
Okay, it's also very philosophical.
Hmm.
Okay, and it also reflect the misery, happiness of people.
Hmm.
Okay, not only it's not only talk about human. Okay, it's also talk about other human as well.
Hmm.
That is very interesting part about bihu songs. It's talk about river, it's talk about
Hmm.
bird, it talk about
Hmm.
no different no species,
Hmm.
no. It's talk about river situations, it talk about that no various changes,
Hmm.
no. Yeah.
And yeah, so one way is to sort of document and preserve it like an archive. But you said you don't just want to do that. You want to
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of, so how do you think of like bringing it back in some way to sort of, how does that happen, and how do you think about that? Like to to inculcate those knowledge systems in our, like reinculcate those knowledge systems in
Hmm.
our lives in some way. How do you think about that? And
Yeah, like for example, no, uh, uh, there are like I what I know like in my photographic practice, what I do know like there is also one element like I start no that how it's all about how I imagine. Okay, and
hmm,
this imagination is not my imagination; it's the
hmm,
imagination of my people. Okay,
hmm,
how they imagine a, for example, folk character or ghost. You can say ghost. Okay, for example, I have been taking exploring exploring various images of of folk character, no ghost in my village. Okay, so there are a lot of discussion in my village. No, still people believe that no, like such yeah character. No, someone see something in the riverside or no. I also explore all these images. Yeah,
hmm,
no, I explore the various changes in the river. No,
hmm,
okay, and I I follow the people there. Yeah, and uh, so I want to also imagine that way, and
hmm,
I start also following. I start create such situation, and I click photographs. Okay, this
hmm,
is also kind of a preservation, or this is also kind of a uh, reactivate such
hmm.
imagery.
Like taking forward that
Yeah, yeah,
legacy in a
exactly,
way.
exactly, exactly.
Hmm,
Reactivate.
hmm, hmm,
Okay, so it is also about that.
Hmm. Yeah, it feels like it's like it's moving away from a very, not moving away, but you're not just doing that simple sort of
Mm.
colonial idea of realistic portrayal of
Mm.
something. You are
Mm.
following that tradition that you have sort of inherited about,
Mm.
a world beyond this very like
Mm.
literal realistic.
Mm.
So if the
Mm.
photography is also not so realistic
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
that way, quote
And
unquote.
I want to bring the imagination, and this is not
Hmm.
my imagination, okay?
Of course.
And I believe that I am also part of Rahmoria, no? It is
Hmm.
our imagination,
Hmm.
okay? It's a collective imagination,
Hmm.
and I try to bring that into the the practice, no?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think I can see that very much. Now that
Mhm.
I think of your images, I think that is
Mhm.
uh, very, very much
Mhm.
clear. And do you have like, I don't know, I'm just asking this because I think it happens to me a lot, but do you
Mhm.
ever, I don't know, like question the purpose of this, like your practice in general, or this uh, act of taking photographs, and what will become of that in the bigger, sort of
Yeah,
larger
yeah,
scale
yeah.
of things?
Yeah, I would say like I know. Yeah.
Like that
I take
existential kind of.
photographs. I do painting. No,
Yeah.
I take videos. No, I do a lot of things. No,
Hmm.
I screen film in my village. No,
Hmm.
yeah, I am part of the various activities in my village.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it is very much. And the larger question is why I'm doing this.
Do you think you're doing this because it sort of keeps you connected to the village that you grew up in, or uh, like what is sort of driving you to do this every time, every day? Like, what would happen if you stopped doing it?
Uh, one important thing about the practice is like I have to practice. Otherwise,
Why
I
do you
don't
think
feel
that
good.
is? Hmm.
Yeah, otherwise I don't feel good. Yeah, like I need to practice every day. No, yeah, it is very much there. It's not no about whether I'm earning or getting money. It's not about that. No, I need to practice. I'm very much clear about that. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Whenever I come home, I go to my village, and yeah, and I go to different houses, no, friends' place, and I, talk to them. I spend time there. For me, spending time there is more important, no, yeah,
Hmm.
rather than producing something, no,
Hmm.
quickly.
Your practice
Yeah.
is just one, like, it's
Yeah.
a whatever comes out is a byproduct of spending
Mm.
time there, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can say it, no.
hmm.
Yeah, like my yeah, I go there, spend time. That is more important, no.
Hmm.
Yeah, you are right.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like that is a pretty
Mm-hmm.
powerful point to end at. But if there is anything
Mm-hmm.
else that you want to say or you want to discuss, uh, that would be great.
I think yeah, it's we discussed so many things.
Yeah, lots of things we discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the episode for today. I hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed participating in it. You can listen to more episodes from this podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Mine and Pallav's socials, along with the show notes, are linked in the description below. I am Purvi, the host of this show, and I can't wait to see you with another episode soon.